And he said, do you want to play left back or right back? And his English wasn't amazing at the time. And I said to him, I think my answer was, that's like asking me which one of these two guys do you want to spend a night with your missus.
He was the angriest man I've ever met in my life. This was non-stop aggression. Anybody in the football world would love to be in the dressing room with Sir Alex Ferguson at half-time or full-time.
He had this leadership in a special way, sometimes a little bit provocating in a nice way, but in the dressing room he was really a nice guy. You trusted him.
I couldn't talk highly enough of the bloke. Honestly, give me the best year in my footballing career, if I'm being honest, at Portsmouth.
I mean, very soon Jurgen Klopp came in, didn't he, with his, I think the quote was something about, we play heavy metal football. So what was that like? Was it a bit of a culture shock, the change between Brendan and Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah, I mean, Brendan, again, like Sir Bobby, it was unfortunate not to work with him for longer. Great coach, great manager, liked him a lot for the short time I was with him. And then obviously Jurgen comes in and we didn't play a slow style under Brendan particularly. It was just, the personality of the manager and the level he wanted. I remember the first game, I think it was Spurs away, and the tempo of the game was just like out of this world. Like both teams were going at it and the level and everything was just 100% what we were doing, flying around. The training was a lot longer, a lot harder. We had a lot of injuries early on while players adapted to it and things like that. But he had to get what his expectations were down early, and it was a big change quick. And we're unfortunate not to win a trophy that first year, but he obviously saw the bigger picture and said, let's not be disappointed. This is just a start. And it was a change that the players had to get on board with quick. And again, it was tough doing it in the season, but that first season, we got to 2 finals, didn't we? And didn't quite get over the line, but that made us hungry for more. And then it was nice to see that journey, how that unfolded going forward.
Yeah. Did Jurgen mellow change at all in the time that you were there?
Yeah, he did. He did. I think at the start for sure. Not many days off. A lot longer and harder training at times and things like that. And then I think to his credit, obviously Germany was a lot different. They have the winter break and things like that. It was 2 sprints, whereas England, Christmas is the busiest period and things like that. And I think he learned to trust the team as well. I think he had ideas about players and maybe English players as well, like to drink a lot, don't prepare well and things like this. And I think he saw the squad he had that it wasn't like that. And if players got a day off, they'd look after themselves, they'd do the right things. And to his credit, he changed things and softened as time went on, but never lost his edge. And he was definitely more aggressive at the start, I'd say as well. I think he lost his rag a bit more at the start. And I think, again, that's setting the standards. It's probably the players he had wasn't his squad. I think he wanted to get his points across and, you surprise people into making sure that they're doing the job and making things second nature. Reactions in all the training was about reacting to the next situation. We've got the ball, we lose the ball. Can we go win it back immediately? And obviously using your voice and screaming at people is a great way to do that because, it shocks you into doing it. And then that filtered into the boys and the boys were pushing each other then and things like that. And you just see how it developed and the culture he created.
Well, he had a lot of faith in you, that's for sure, didn't he? Was he the one who turned you from a sort of out and out, well, not so much a winger by then, but midfield player into a fullback? Was he the first one?
Yeah, so the first time was we played, I think, United in the Europa League. And someone had a fitness test the day of the game. We're training at Carrington, actually, which was Man City's old training ground. Yeah. And I remember we were having the conversation and he pulled me to the side and whoever it was hadn't made it. And it was me and Kleiny, I think, playing. He said, do you want to play left back or right back? And his English wasn't amazing at the time. And I said to him, I think my answer was, that's like asking me which one of these two guys do you want to spend a night with your missus? And he pulled sort of face and I was like, well, I'll play left back because it's pointless 2 of us playing out of position. And I probably prefer left back to right back anyway. And that was the first time. And I did an okay job. And then the start of, that was obviously, I don't know, after Christmas, if it was the knockout stage of the Europa. And then I don't think I played it again that year. And then pre-season we're away and he pulled me into his office on tour and he said, I want to play you left back this year. What are your thoughts on that? And obviously he's had time to think about it. It's put on my toes and I'm thinking, well, what do I do here? I don't really want to play there, but do I want to be a part of this? And it's my decision. I can turn around and say no. And the likelihood is I'll leave Liverpool or yes, I do it. And my approach has always been do whatever you can for the team if that's what's needed now. And obviously, he's a special manager at a special football club and how he wanted to play it. So I said, yeah, and went out to training the first day. I remember a few of the boys' faces when we were doing the shape or whatever, and I was left back like, what's going on here? And that was the start of it, yeah.
And it was at Aberdeen, obviously, that Sir Alex first managed you. Just Alex as it was then. Was it obvious straight away that he was going to be something special?
He was the angriest man I've ever met in my life. I'd seen anger from different managers like Billy and Davy White, who was my first manager at Dundee. But this was non-stop aggression. I don't know if you call it bullying. Can you get away with bullying? It's funny enough, anybody who was underneath them never call it bullying. We call it getting pushed, driven, cajoled. Nobody ever mentioned the word bullying when we all got together. It was just driven to be the best you can be. And so we knew it was different. At the time, we had a problem because he kept referring to St Mirren, the St Mirren team it was playing with, talking about Tony Fitzpatrick, Billy Stark, people like that. And he's going, do us a favour. Again, make us better. So I think he realised after a couple of months, I better put that aside. And then you realise that you're dealing with something different here, because we all thought at this club we were kind of what you call, I hate using this word, winners. We weren't there. We were pathetic. It was like me being that pathetic Billy Bremner. And we thought we were competitors. No, we were narky. We were, we didn't know the game. And he put us right in what winning is all about. Winning is everything. Winning is every part of your day, where you're training, where you're sleeping, where you're doing right, you're looking after your teammates, family. So we realised it was a different ball game, and if you wanted to be with them, you had to, your whole lifestyle now had to be as a footballer. And people talk about Arsene Wenger, about meals and things like that. He was doing that years ago at Aberdeen. We'd all have to sit together at lunchtime. Alcohol was banned during the week. And he would know exactly where everybody was. Trust me, he'd know exactly where everybody was. Golf, no golf, which I kind of, one of the things I learnt from him when I was a manager, no golf. Because football players think that's good to go out and play golf. It's no. Because if I say to you, let's go and play 5 hours of golf, walk about hills, up doing hills, and you get back, you're tired.
Yeah. That
can be used for training. That should be, every energy you have should be used for training. That was the kind of thing he changed. Where were you after? I went shopping with my wife. Why are we going shopping with her? I says, because she wants... No, you stay in the house, you rest. Let her go shopping. All that kind of stuff. Everything was about rest, training, working as hard as you can. And I said to you, our mindset was you had to win games. Every game you played, you had to win. Even fitness-wise, that... he scared us into being fit. Literally scared us into being fit, because we had a squad of about 15 players. Nobody got injured because we were scared, because if you got injured, you went on Monday and said, listen, I've got a bit of sore ankle, can I train? Right, North Sea. That's where you went, the North Sea in January, snow and everything. You used to have to stand in the North Sea, whatever injury you had. And if he wasn't happy with the injury, you go down at night. He sends you down at night, 7 o'clock. And it's snowing, you've got your Sony Walkman on your thing, and you're freezing because the waves are coming in past your knees. Mrs. Strachan's in the Fiat 127 Special because I can't drive, she's pregnant, and I'm in there trying to make myself fit for the game on Saturday. So on a Monday, anybody injured? No chance, absolutely no chance. We're fine. Big holes in your ankle and your shin. So this whole thing was just professionalism. Yeah. That nobody's ever seen before in
So
Scotland.
he was ahead of his time, a bit like Wenger, yeah?
Miles ahead of his time with the food. We used to get pasta and all the rest of it, stop the alcohol, all the rest. He did that, There's things you get marginal gains now and all the rest of it, but what he went for was a majority gains. Super fit, doing everything right, working at your technique, working as a group, so we'd get the majority of things right. We're so caught up now in the marginal gains. But he got the majority gains right.
Would he listen to players? I mean, if you had a grievance or a suggestion, would he listen?
No, absolutely not. No chance. It was, some of us tried, and me in particular, but it was a waste of time. As soon as I started the argument, I knew fine well that I wasn't going anywhere with this. I was getting it, And but the funny thing at the time is, it was like most people had it. I got it more than anybody else, and probably deserved it more than anybody else. But we had a kind of, after it happened, we had this kind of group, this group meeting where we all got together and we all kind of got round and empathised with each other. Oh, right, he's off his head, never mind. So we all felt better, but we never felt isolated. It was only me, because we've all been receiving the end of it. Only Willie Muller probably was the only one that never come on the receiving end of it. But when you look back at it, because I spoke to him a couple of months ago, and he was talking about things he said and done. I said, listen, don't even think about worrying, because he's worried about one thing in particular. I said, don't even worry about it. I says, we're still laughing about it now. It's hilarious. It wasn't hilarious at the time, but we think it's hilarious now. But we also think it's very special, because I think anybody in the football world would love to be in the dressing room with Sir Alex Ferguson at half-time or full-time. I don't care who you are, journalist, player, physio, to be in that dressing room with that energy that he set off. There's only a few who's had it.
What did he do? What did he do at half-time then?
Well, it usually came for me. And I always knew when he came for me, because Willie Muller was one side and I think it was Mark McGee was on the other side. And we all used to keep our heads down until they come in. And we're scared to look up. But then you see the shoes pointing at you and went, oh dear, here it goes. So when the shoes pointed at you, the two guys on either side kind of crept away and left you on your own. So Willie would move to the right and Mark would move to the left and leave me on my own to be on the receiving end of this, which was great, because all the guys went, the longer he spends on that wee fella, that he's not coming round to me. So I kind of took a bit, probably deserved a lot of it, but...
So this is a sort of early hairdryer, isn't it?
Well, it started there.
What was it like to be on the receiving end of that then?
Well, you think about it now, you laugh about it, but at the time you think, oh no. And the problem was he used to come so close to you that he couldn't see the players, but I could see the players, and they were at you, and I'm looking at them as he's raging at me, and they're in between laughing or saying, go and have a go at him. I'm like, no, I'm frozen here in time. I can't do anything, because we really could at that point. If he disliked you, he could. You don't get a game. You don't get a game. But I said, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Yeah. I've worked with the best managers in the world, and he is the best. I apologise to all the other managers, but his record's phenomenal. Yeah. But I wouldn't have missed it for the world. As I say, he's still the same. Now, I met him a couple of months ago, and I was with Steve Archibald McLeish and Willie Muller, and he come up and smacked me in the head, and I went, oh, he went, what's that for? He said, get your hair cut. All right. And I'm actually 67 looking at my watch then, 6 o'clock, where can I get my hair cut? He still has this presence, Brilliant.
Coming soon, football's greatest eras with Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, a new show where the pair tell their best stories about Manchester United's greatest period.
I'm Nicky Butt.
And I'm Paul Scholes.
This is our new show
where we take you inside the greatest era,
under the greatest manager,
at the best club in the world.
Come with us inside the dressing rooms and onto the pitch. I think I was the only person in Premier League history to score a goal and run off, and the camera go on Eric. The camera go on Eric.
As we tell you all about our teammates and the rivalries.
I'm pretty sure that was the game where Robbie Fowler scored the goal and not Gary off the ball.
I mean, Nev, what's he doing? I mean, we know Rob, he's a great lad, unbelievable player, but Nev Scott, just what's Nev doing? I mean, he's just fell down like
himself in that wrong position.
Fell down like an 82-year-old on his Zimmer frame.
This is football's greatest eras.
I mean, obviously, when we talk about Mourinho, we talk about the special one. What was it that made him special?
His character, his personality, if he joins a room, any room, or the dressing room, or a camera, you know what I mean. He was so confident about himself, of course, but in a good way, as a players, because players are really sensitive. It doesn't matter what quality you have, you feel that immediately that your leader, which is the coach, the manager, in English you say the manager, is the most important man to lead that team, and he had this leadership in a special way that you want to follow him. You trusted him. That's really important, that the team trusts the coach. Doesn't matter what way he goes, doesn't matter what language he uses, the technique of a language, inside the dressing room, but also outside. You know, there is this special build-up in the dressing room to prepare a match, but then you go out of the dressing room, you join the stadium, and you join the public and the opponents, and all this expression or he has on everyone was special, and he was also beside a nice guy. I mean, you have that picture always from him to be very, very controversial, also sometimes a little bit provocating in a nice way, but in the dressing room he was really a nice guy, and he was funny. He was a family guy. He was really special.
I don't want to call Harry Redknapp a maverick, you know. I'm not sure Harry would like it, but he was a one-off, wasn't he? I mean, of all the managers you had, would he be the one you enjoyed playing under the most, and did he understand you best?
I mean, the name of the game is winning stuff. You know, I won everything at Arsenal, bar in them days it was the European Cup. So George was very good, an unbelievable manager. Taught us the game, probably done our coaching badges on the pitch without even knowing we was doing our coaching badges. You know, if you go through the team, you know, we're talking 30 years ago now, Ian Wright's on telly, I'm on telly, Alan Smith's on telly, Perry Groves does the radio, you know, Lee Dixon does the telly, you know, Steve Bowles a manager, Tony Adams has been a manager, you know, all still involved, which just shows you how good George was. But Harry was just like the best man manager I've ever played under. And I mean, in a man manager where you'd have thought he just finished playing himself. You know, he knew you, he knew how you were thinking, you knew how he was, you know, he'd just let you go out and play. But you had to go out and play. You know, he would say, right, just go out and do what you want. I'll get players around you, you know, get the ball to Merson, make runs, he'll find you the ball. But you had to do it. He'd soon let you know if you didn't do it. You know, he wasn't one of them who would go, oh, he's had a shit game, let's just leave. He would go mad at you in the dressing room. He'd pick you out and he'd go, that ain't good enough. You know, he was one of them. He was so strong as a manager. When I hear people go, oh, wheeler dealer, he was definitely one of the best managers I played under. And I played under good managers. And I would definitely say he was up there without a doubt.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
100% not. You know, 100%. You know, he managed over 1,000 games. I only not played the following year because I just found my standard of football, and I just thought I was coming towards the end. I didn't want to embarrass myself, and I didn't, you know, and I know Harry would have wanted a bit more, and I couldn't give that, but I couldn't talk highly enough of the bloke. Honestly, give me the best year in my footballing career, if I'm being honest, at Portsmouth.
How did he persuade you to go there?
No, he rang me up. He said, you've just been released. I'd just been released by Villa. You know, couldn't get into Graham Taylor's team. And I understood he wanted legs in the team, and I understand that. And I was at home the next day, and Harry rang me up. He said, is that Merson? I said, yeah, when it's Harry Redknapp. And I never talked to him before. And he said, I'd be interested in bringing you down and we'll meet for a couple of years, son. And I just said, where are you, Harry? And he went, I'm manager at Portsmouth now. And I said, well, what are they like? And he went, they're fucking shit, son. That's exactly how he went. He went, I've got rid of every one of them. I've kept Nigel Quasi. I've got 10 new players on free transfers. He said, I want you to come down, be the captain for a couple of years. We'll give it a right effing go. And I said, Harry, I have to stop you there, mate. I said, I'm living up in the Midlands now. I said, I'm not going to move down for 2 years. I'm definitely not travelling down every day at my age. I had that at Middlesbrough. He said, I tell you what, son, don't work Mondays, don't work Wednesdays, don't work Fridays. But you fucking make sure you turn it on a Saturday. And I'll be down in the morning, Harry. And I loved it. Honestly, I could not talk highly enough of the club, the players, the fans. And I had my best ever game I ever played in. I played, I think, 700 games. The best game I ever played in my whole footballing career was at Millwall away. We won 5-0 and I got a standing ovation from the Millwall fans. Like, Harry brought me off with 5 minutes to go and they all stood up, every one of them. And that's some going. I've played at Millwall a few times. And after the game, I was getting in my car and an old bloke come up to me about 70 odd years of age. And he said, I've been coming to this ground since I was 5, son. I've never seen anybody get that. Yeah. And I always look out for their scores today. Always look out for Millwall scores.
Now, thanks for watching Football's Greatest on YouTube. But can I ask you please to hit that subscribe button? That way you won't miss any of our future episodes, and we have some great guests coming up on the show.